Hey, Shalom. I like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well, taught me this truth. Salutations and Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua, of the hopeful elect. Lord's willing, I'll be part of that number. And Shalom to all the Akim preaching His word with truth and sincerity. Just coming back in the spirit and theme of prophecy. And I got another article I want to get into that I didn't get into in my last lesson. So I'm going to call this part 2. And just get 1 or 2 scriptures. And Lord's willing, this to be edifying. Alright. This is from the Daily Hodl or Hodl. It says 94 U.S. banks at serious risk of bank runs, including BNY, State Street, JP Morgan Chase, and Citi. Those are very credible banks. A total of 94 U.S. banks are at significant risk of experiencing bank runs by uninsured depositors if they show financial weakness, according to a new report. An analysis from Florida Atlantic University finds the billion-dollar banks in question, which include 7 U.S. financial giants, have all reported a 50% or higher ratio of uninsured deposits to total deposits. The university's liquidity risk from exposures to uninsured deposits index shows BNY Mellon has a 100% ratio of uninsured deposits, followed by State Street Bank at 92.6%, Northern Trust at 73.9%, Citibank at 72.5%, HSBC Bank at 69.8%, JP Morgan Chase at 51.7%, and US Bank at 50.4%. And all those banks are heavy hitters. This is the majority of the United States has either 1 or 2 of these banks. Citibank, HSBC, JP Morgan Chase. Florida Atlantic University finance professor Rebel A. Cole says the banks are more vulnerable to liquidity crisis because uninsured depositors are motivated to withdraw their funds quickly if they perceive any risk to a bank's stability. The first bank failure of the year, Republic First Bank in Pennsylvania, was number 87 on the previous quarter's list with a 51.5% ratio. All of the banks on this list are at a serious risk of a run by uninsured depositors should they exhibit any weakness from commercial real estate exposures or unrealized losses on securities. Although FDIC-insured banks promise up to $250,000 will be protected in the event of collapse, the FDIC, Federal Reserve, and Treasury Department used the systematic risk exception to make all depositors whole in last year's high-profile bank failures of Silicon Valley, Signature Bank, and First Republic Bank. In this year's failure of Republic First Bank, the FDIC quickly arranged for Fulton Bank to assume all deposits. Yeah, so as you can see, America's running thin on money. Even though they could print some out of thin air, these banks are not holding up. It's only a matter of time before they crash the dollar completely, and then the banks close. So it would behoove you to, if you have money in any one of these banks, to take your money out and keep it on you, because you're not going to be able to get it if the bank, if the dollar collapse, and they close the banks. I looked up that word bank run. What is a bank run? Simple Google search, and it says a bank run happens when a large number of depositors withdraw their money from a bank at the same time, usually out of fear that that bank will fail. This can cause the bank to run out of cash, which can lead to a liquidity crisis and default. And then it says factors that can cause a bank run include poor management. If a bank expands too quickly or invests poorly, customers may become nervous. Rumors of a bank's stability can spread quickly on social media even if the bank is actually stable. And lack of faith. Customers may lose faith in the financial system or the bank itself. And all those are the factors to why there's going to be bank runs soon. People don't feel safe with their money in the bank, especially with that cyber attack that happened not too long ago. I believe it was a couple of weeks ago or last month. Banks were closed. People couldn't get to their money. So they're going to do it the old-fashioned way. They're going to keep it under their mattress. It says bank runs have happened throughout history, including during the Great Depression and the 2008 financial crisis. In 2023, Silicon Valley Bank experienced a bank run after CEO Greg Becker announced that the bank had lost almost $2 billion in assets. Customers withdrew $42 million from the bank on March 9th, 2023, leaving it with a negative balance of $958 million. To reduce the occurrence of bank runs, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, was established in 1933. The FDIC insures up to $250,000 per depositor per FDIC insured bank per ownership category. Yeah, but that's not going to mean anything anyway. People still going to want their money. The banks don't have enough money to give to the depositors. When you deposit your money into a bank, they hold 10% of it, from what I understand, and they trade the rest. So when you go to get your money, they might say that they don't have it. And let me get a scripture before I close. This is just more proof that America is done. Matter of fact, let me get this. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, verse 19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. Yeah. Soon, gold and silver is going to be the only real money, and even that's going to fail. Because the global elites have all the gold and silver the global elites have all the gold and silver. Like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, they have all the gold and silver. You could buy some now, but as a matter of fact, let me look it up. Yeah, it says, as of August 19th, 2024, a troy pound of gold is worth around $24,547.68, based on a price of $2,045.64 per ounce. Yeah, you see, gold is expensive. The average person doesn't have this amount of money to buy gold. They rely on the Federal Reserve notes, which is nothing but a debt pledge. It's fiat currency. That's why I said they shall cast their silver in the streets and their gold shall be removed. Like it says in Proverbs 11th chapter, riches shall not profit you in the day of wrath. That's why your best bet, if you're an Israelite, is to store up your treasures in heaven, pursuant to Matthew the 6th chapter. This is the book of James, chapter 5, verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as if it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Yeah, it's a wrap for the rich men, because they can't get right with the Most High. They're too worried about their riches. And look what it says in the NLT, warning to the rich. Look here, you rich people, weep and groan with anguish because of all the terrible troubles ahead of you. Your wealth is rotting away, and your fine clothes are moth-eaten rags. Your gold and silver have become worthless. The very wealth you were counting on will eat away your flesh like fire. The treasure you have accumulated will stand as evidence against you on the day of judgment. Yep, and that's what's going to happen. These central bankers, these billionaires, these trillionaires, their riches is going to stand as evidence against them, and they're not going to be able to escape the wrath of the Lord. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get that. This is James 5 and Salakia. There's James 5 and 1 in the GNT, Good News Translation. And now you rich people, listen to me. Weep and wail over the miseries that are coming upon you. Your riches have rotted away, and your clothes have become eaten by moths. Your gold and silver are covered with rust, and the rust will be a witness against you, and will eat up your flesh like fire. You have piled up riches in these last days. You have not paid any wages to those who work in your fields. Listen to their complaints. The cries of those who gather in your crops have reached the ears of the Most High, the Lord Almighty. Yeah. And the cries of those who gather in your crops, that's talking about Jake. You look at any business where you have to gather in crops, you see the people that's working in the fields or in the vineyards, that's Jake. Whether southern or northern tribe. And really you're supposed to get paid every day that the sun goes down. Instead, what does the so-called white man do? He pays you weekly or bi-weekly every two weeks. That's wickedness. And then on top of that, he taxes you, which causes people to have to take out loans, or people without understanding and morals, they go and sell drugs and have side jobs or side hustles, whether it be legal or illegal, like as being a stick-up kid and whatnot. But yeah, Let me read verse 3 again. Your gold and silver are covered with rust, and this rust will be a witness against you and will eat up your flesh like fire. You have piled up riches in these last days. Yeah, so I just wanted to bring that out. Lord willing, you were edified. Until the next time I say Shalom. This place is done.